Hey y'all, how you doing? And what you're looking at here is a piece of wood. A couple of pieces of wood. Actually, what I'm doing here is I am making a carburetor adapter. Some of you may remember, maybe you don't. I got a friend of mine gave me a V6, a Dodge V6 LA based V6 about 3 or 4 months ago, and just gave it to me. It came out of his Dakota. He's putting a different engine in it, and his Dakota is like really neat little cool Dakota. It's He's had it for several years, but I got the engine transmission out of it, and now so I'm making an adapter to adapt to go from the throttle body injection to a carburetor. Now you might say, well, why don't you just go ahead and run the throttle body? Well, for one, I don't have the computer, and I don't really have a computer that I think would work with the throttle body setup, and I'm just trying to get the engine to run on a stand. Okay, so you see what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to get the engine to run on a stand. All right, I don't, I'm not trying to get it to like, uh, you know, meet some sort of emissions criteria or something like that. This is just to get the engine running and to verify that, hey, it makes good oil pressure, and it does this and this, and everything's doing all right. I mean, it does spin over. Okay, it's not locked up or anything like that, so that's great. But it is a throttle body injected engine, so I don't really have a means or a way to get the throttle body injection to work without, probably causing some sort of problems. To where that those throttle body injectors would be running wide open, or be running maybe very lean, or very rich or whatever like that. So this way I can like put a carburetor on this, and I can do this without it being a big deal. Okay, and if you notice, I'm making this out of a piece of wood. Now, let me explain a few things. This was laying around and available. Okay, yes, I could probably have somebody make it for me out of a piece of aluminum, but that would cost me some money. There might even be somebody out there that has already made a few of these and might be selling them. But again, that would cost me some money. This is free. So there you go. Um, so what I've done so far, as you can see, I've drilled these 3 holes. Kind of matches these. These are a little bit smaller. I'll show you the carburetor I've got in mind to put on there. Come over here to the $50 318. This Holley 2280 that I rebuilt not long ago. This one I'm probably going to put on there and run it on that engine. So it's working fantastic. Let's just work the throttle body or throttle blades. Yep. Okay. Yep. Everything's great. Everything's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this carburetor off of here. I've got another carburetor to go back on this. But the Holley 2280 and then the Carter BBD carburetors are the same pattern right here. So, which you can see, I've already got quite a few holes drilled and everything like that. I'm probably going to come in here and grind this out later, but right now I just want to get the holes drilled for everything. As you can see, I've got some of the holes already, I've got all the holes drilled. Now I've just got to countersink the holes on this side for the bolts to go through into here. I've just got to countersink the holes on this side so that when I put some bolts in here, they'll stay in here and they will stick up through the other side so that I can bolt the carburetor to the other side. So this side's going to face the intake. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I will go ahead and warn you right now, I am not a professional woodworker. You've probably already figured that out by now. But I have fun with this stuff. As you can see here in the floor, I don't know if you can see in the floor here or not. Yeah, you see, there's all the shavings from everything I've been doing so far. So, anyway, yeah, I'm going to carry on with this. I'm just going to use, I've got a very large drill bit. I'm just going to carefully drill, not through the gasket. I'm just going to drill through some holes here and just carefully, slowly and carefully try to drill a place for a bolt to recess into a, yeah, there we go. All right. There we go. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to take a die grinder a little bit, and I'm going to grind into that a little bit more. So that's going to, okay, so take my drill bit. Okay. Now, this is going on like that V6, which I think they made like 125 horsepower when they were new. And this thing's got probably 200,000 on it. So yeah, 200,000 miles versus, 125 horsepower. I'd say that engine's probably down to maybe 100 horsepower or something like that. So, and for those of you who remember, I'm going to be doing something crazy with that engine, and I'm going to be putting it into a little small lawn and garden tractor. I am serious. So for those of you who are like scratching your head wondering what the hell he is on, I can assure you I'm not on anything. So, and I think it's a great use of that engine, and it's a fantastic use for that tractor. Because if I can actually make it to where that tractor still runs and is able to mow grass and do everything it's supposed to do with that V6, I think that would be awesome. Definitely would be a tremendous conversation piece. So anyway, now just so that you know, I am going to be using a gasket on this side and a gasket on the other side too as well. So there's going to be a gasket on both sides. I'm probably going to use some sealant, probably some silicone, and I am going to be sanding both sides of this thing. So it's not that crazy, Now, for those of you who may be kind of still scratching your heads about wood, I'm sure if you look in like Summit or Jags, you'll probably find somebody. You'll probably find some. You look at carburetor spacers or adapters, especially carburetor spacers. You'll find there's some companies that are making carburetor spacers right now that are made of wood. There's like several different kinds of materials you can use. There's like wood. Whoops. Something you got to be careful there. Sometimes it'll grip and twist that thing around there and hurt you if you're not careful. Yeah. So you just want to be. That's why I'm doing this kind of slow and taking my time with it. I'm not getting a real big hurry, So, I go backwards on these too to kind of knock out some of the big burrs and stuff, But like I said, I am going to be taking my die grinder in here and doing a little die grinding in these holes here. I'm probably going to take like a sawzall and just cut right in here and here to open this up a little bit. So, there we go. Yes. Now, you might also be thinking, wait a minute, that 2-barrel carburetor is going to sit on here, and you're going to have this open hole right here, and that carburetor is going to be right there. Well, yes, you probably are right. I will be seeing some drop in performance. However, let's keep in mind where this thing is going. This is going in a lawn and garden tractor from the 70s, okay, with hydrostatic drive. And maybe it'll live, maybe it won't, you know. So I've only made one of these wooden spacers or adapters like this once before, and that was like way long time ago. That was like 20 years ago or so. So, but I'm probably also going to use, probably like in this area here, I'm going to use some, that little gap right there where that tore out, I'm going to use probably some JB Weld or something in there to fill that in. So, you can see what I'm dealing with here. Anyway, very windy here, so if you're hearing some wind noise, I do apologize. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, I'll just have to get my die grinder in there and grind that out. So anyway, but yeah, I'm going to try to find some way here in the garage so I can sand this son of a gun and sand it down nice and flat and smooth, and I'm probably going to get some sort of sandpaper and maybe tape it to like one of my workbenches, and then I can sand this on that sandpaper and, you know, really take it down and get it nice and flat and smooth. But again, I am going to be using gaskets both sides similar to this, and yeah, this isn't going to be some you know, this, I mean, if this was going on something like my Barracuda or my you know, my 360 or something like that, then I would be, this would be a very different thing, but it's not, okay? And I am not a professional woodworker. I'll just go ahead and tell you, which some of you are probably like, oh, really? We never could tell. So, I'm joking, okay? I'm joking. Don't take me serious there on that, all right? Alrighty. But I just thought this video would be kind of neat to do, and there we go. Got that little burr out of there. Got some little trash there stuck in there, and trying to get them out of the holes there real quick. So anyway, but let's see. Why don't I pause this? I'll do that die grinding on this one particular hole. Yeah, this hole right here, I'll do the little grinding here to open that up a little bit so I can get the bolt in there. See, what I want to do is countersink this down so where I can get the bolt head down in there. I'm just going to touch this one up just a little bit more. That's better. Yeah, I just want to countersink. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about countersink. No, it's too big. It's not a bolt in here, so I'll put it through here and give y'all an idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. All right, see? Now that is below. See how that's below the surface of the wood right there? See, there's the bolt head. And now that's below the surface. So see, my carburetor will go on this side here. Okay? So, all right. Anyway, let me do this die grinding right here and some sanding, and I'll let y'all see a little bit more here in just a minute. All right. We'll pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. We are back. I've got a few things put away. I've still got quite a bit of mess here. I think I've got enough sawdust down here to start a good garden here, maybe. Probably not. This wood was oil soaked, so yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, this is it after I cut in here and cut out those jagged pieces in here to open this up a little bit more. And then I've also come in here and open this up, and yeah, and I've done sanding on this. I opened this up here with my die grinder. I've been sanding on this son of a gun both sides. Um, Honestly, it looks plenty good enough for me to, let me set y'all up here so I don't have to hold the camera and all that, okay? But like I said, this looks plenty good enough for me here to put a gasket on this, put a couple of gaskets on this, maybe some sealer like RTV or something like that, and get this thing ready and put on that engine and see if I can get that engine to fire up and run. I'm going to probably try and use the, along with this, I've got a points distributor for a V8, which I know, it doesn't seem like it would work because you have that extra, turn this around here so you can see. I like to look at who I'm talking to. I like to, Anyway, like I was saying, I want to use a points distributor in that because I don't really want to put that kind of effort into like setting up all the electronic ignition for it. Even the standard Mopar electronic ignition, because of the fact that this is just, I'm going to be putting this thing on a stand. I'm going to run it. I want to see how it runs. Runs pretty good. Then I will be putting it on, probably putting it in that little garden tractor. I know it sounds crazy, but I like doing stuff like that. So, you know what? That's just the way it is. If you don't like it, go buy your own V6. Go, Dodge V6 and do whatever you want to with it. Or go buy your own garden tractor. It's a little Boland's H14. So, but it has the whole thing's built like a tank. So, as far as it holding that engine, I don't have a whole lot of misgivings about that. I think it'll do just fine as far as that's concerned. I'm going to be stretching the frame out a little bit more to give it more clearance and everything like that. Stretch out the steering linkage and, that whole bit. And I'm actually going to be retaining the mowing deck and that whole bit there. And I'm actually going to try to have it working so that when, I'm mowing the yard, I'm out there mowing the yard, and here's these two stacks coming up off that V6 and blah, 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 blah. I'm mowing the yard. It's just going to be kind of crazy and funny. But hey, let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? You only get one go around. Might as well enjoy it. That's what I say. Yes, back to the distributor and the points ignition. Yes, there will be. I do realize that the points ignition does have the 8 lobes for 8 cylinders, but this, so there will be a wasted spark, and so there may be some issues there, like the spark may try to jump to like one of the other cylinders, but if it's jumping to one of the other cylinders that's not, if it's jumping to a cylinder that's like maybe on the exhaust stroke, then it's not that big of a deal, because there's a lot of engines that use a wasted spark system. So, I've thought about using a slant 6 type setup, and I may use the distributor cam from a slant 6 in a V8 distributor, which I think I can do. So if I can't, you'll know, because I'll do it right here on the channel. Yeah, I've got a slant 6 points distributor, and I've got the cam, the cam part that actuates the points, opens the points up. I've got that, so I may be able to take that part out of the slant 6 distributor and put it in the V8 distributor. Now, you might be saying, why don't you just use the slant 6 distributor in the V6? Well, because that slant 6 distributor is only like maybe this long altogether, and it's actuated. The bottom portion of it is actuated entirely differently. It has a gear drive on the bottom of it, and whereas like those distributors for those V6s are like the LA V8s, the 318, 340, the 360, the 273. They're actuated by. They have a. They're actuated by the distributor drive gear assembly. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Give me just a minute here. Okay, I'm back. Here is the typical V8. This is an electronic distributor, hence the plug here. Okay, but this is a typical LA electronic ignition distributor. As you can see, it has a drive tang. Okay, this thing is centered in the shaft, so you can get it 180 out, or you can get it right on, one or the other. So you got to make sure that your distributor drive shaft has a gear on it and has a hex on the other end that meshes with the oil pump. That gear on it meshes with the cam. So what I will have to do is I will have to take a distributor like this, a V8 points distributor like this, and then found the cam here, the points cam from the Slant 6. I think I can take and I can swap these out between that V8 distributor and this one here. So then I will have a 6 cylinders, okay? And as you can count right there, there is 6, you'll see 6 points. Okay, so it's, all right. And see, right here is a Slant 6 distributor. As you can see, there's quite a bit of difference. Here is a gear that goes on the bottom of it. Okay, there you go. See, very different animal. So, all right. But anyway, you get the point. You get what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm going to try to attempt to do. I'm going to take that points distributor, take it apart, get this part out of it that is for the V8, and put this part in for a 6 cylinder. Okay. Now, as far as firing orders go, as long as the firing orders are correct, I think we'll be okay. Because if if I look at this right here, I'm looking at this, and I don't see any real determinations between, none of these are like moved around for like one type of firing order or another. Okay, if I have to, I'll move the spark plugs around on the distributor cap to figure out the firing order. Okay, so there you go. And besides, that engine has a firing order, and it's printed right there on the intake. Regular, good old Mopar. So, anyway, all right. This video's went on long enough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'm going to put some more stuff away. And but if you want to make an adapter like that to adapt, one kind of carburetor to a different kind of engine or whatever, go ahead and get on it. You're only limited really by your own imagination and your abilities. Myself, I'm definitely going to try and do it because for me it's enjoyable and it's a lot of fun. And this particular adapter here isn't something that's going to go on on Clay Millican's Top Fuel Dragster or something. I mean, this is let's be honest here. This is kind of evening butchery and hackery at its finest. Okay, so we'll but this is something I'm gonna put on there. Try to get the engine running and see how it runs. If it runs okay and makes good oil pressure and doesn't smoke a lot or rattle or have any real serious issues, then I'll definitely consider it for that little tractor. Matter of fact, it'll probably be fulfills all, checks all the boxes off. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about this or any of the other things you've seen on this channel, any other videos or anything like that, just you know what to do. Drop them down below. Oh, almost forgot. I have 50 subscribers. So I want to thank you all, everybody. I want to thank you all so much for subscribing and passing the word along, sharing these videos with your friends and your neighbors and coworkers and what have you. I do appreciate this tremendously, and you know, I really appreciate this time and this opportunity to come into you through video here and to educate and to inspire you all. Okay, so thank you very much. Have yourselves a great holiday, and God bless.